Ooh, that's loud. Okay. I Tonight is going to be short, and I did that on purpose because we're all exhausted from the time change, and my body is still like Shane is falling asleep on the couch, and I'm like, oh, it's like 9 o'clock bedtime, but trying to get into normal routine. And I was, it getting dark at 5 o'clock today. I'm like, I hate winter. I hate winter. But I wanted to talk about um, be an agent of change. Oh, this has fun movement. Um, but be an agent of change. So that's kind of what we're talking about because I think a lot of us lost momentum in October. I did too. Like we just kind of, October was a weird, busy month. And so we kind of like lost our momentum and now we're trying to get it back. And that can be difficult to try to like get it back. But um, I want to talk about being an agent of change. And this was something I found that I thought was really cool that an agent of change is someone who recognizes, okay, sorry, I'm going to like, I hope no one gets motion sick. I didn't realize that this like slideshow had all this motion on it. Someone who can recognize that we can do better or that there's a problem. And then she's able to create a roadmap, galvanize people, like, get people to go with her, gather resources, and then generate the will to see it through, right? So if we break this down, we have recognizing that we can do better. I never realized how many people are okay with the status quo. Like maybe you guys have been in a work meeting or at an organizational meeting and you ask someone like why we do that or why it is the way it is. And they don't really have a response, right? Like it's like, well, that's just the way it is. Or you suggest a change and people get mad about it, even though you know it's something that's very beneficial. So usually if we're an agent of change, we see things that can be done better or a problem, but other people kind of hold us back from it. We want to create a roadmap, and we're lucky. I think of our roadmaps as our workout calendars, our meal plans, our diamond roadmaps, like all that. We have resources for that. So we don't really have to create our own. We just have to help. We just have to help them find their roadmap and then get people, to come along with us. Who's going to change with us? We bring the resources, and then we are going to have the willpower to see it through. We are going to have the willpower to show up every single day and make sure that change in our lives is occurring. Okay. A lot of us have mastered this through like our workout routines, right? I forgot to do announcements. Okay, I'll do them at the end. Don't let me forget. So find your passion and act on it. I think that like what gets you fired up, right? Is it education? Is it motherhood? Is it cooking? Is it agriculture? I think of like on my TikTok right now, the only thing I really post about on my TikTok is like teaching stuff. And you hear about like niching down, like finding your niche and getting very specific on it. And we think that it narrows us down too much because we want to like collect everyone in this funnel and help everyone and have as many people as possible, which is really good. But also sometimes then we're like too broad and we're not helping the specific people that we are created to help. So if you find your passion and you get very, very specific on it, that helps. So like I said, my TikTok is only about education really and teaching and kind of making fun of my students and talking about FFA and ag teaching and stuff. And I've really seen my following grow there because other FFA members, other ag teachers, people in education, they're following that. Whereas I used to be very broad, like I'd post recipes, I'd post teaching stuff, I'd post marriage, so I'd post all kinds of stuff. And it just like, I never got any traction. I think of like Victoria does a good job at this too. Like a lot of her posts are related to agriculture and crop production. So she's going to find her people. It'll take time, but she'll find her people that are also like doing that and into that. And that helps a lot too, because it just builds up your reputation. So don't be afraid to find out like what is something that like you're very passionate about, and it can be something completely different than these. These were just the ones I can think of, but do that, and then I'd really focus your efforts on showcasing that, I guess, if that makes sense. Like you think of, if you follow, I follow Enneagram pages and all they post about is Enneagrams, but I go there. Or I think of like Mel Robbins is all like motivation. These different people kind of have their groups and their niche. So don't be afraid to focus on that. Okay. What are some things you can do? Okay, so like some practical things you can do are like on your social media, highlight the benefits of change, right? Talk about like what are the good things, because I think our society is so scared of change, and people in our lives are scared of change, right? All of us. We're not huge change lovers, but highlight the benefits of it. Then, like I said, create a plan and a roadmap and show that, right? Like you might say, okay, I want to get up at 4 a.m, but right now I get up at 6 a.m. So create that plan and that roadmap of, okay, so this first week I'm going to wake up, 20 minutes earlier, and then I'm going to do another 20 minutes and another 20 minutes. And that's how I'm going to get there. Or what is your plan of your day? What is the roadmap of the month going to look like? What are these different things? And it doesn't, again, this could apply to any sector of your life. It doesn't have to just be Beachbody, because I think of like, with teaching, I create a plan and a roadmap of how my semester is going to go, and my life goes better because I have that. Creating a plan and roadmap, right? Shane and I sit down together at the beginning of the month and go through what our monthly schedule is to create a plan of when we're home, when we're not, etc. Okay. Some other things we can do on our social media is help with struggles. And this isn't, I guess, just on social media. Excuse me. This is like with anyone you're helping. Help them with the struggles. It could be as simple as an extra text message. It could be helping them find resources. It could be anything, the extra accountability, whatever that would be. And then I have on here, ask tough questions. When I first started, I would ask people like, I never really asked people outright like how their workouts were going. I would just like ask them how life was going. And then I would hope that they would take it as I was asking them how their workouts were going. But if they didn't tell me, then I just kind of like moved on from the topic. Whereas now, when I check in with challengers or people or whatever, like I ask them very directly, like, how are your workouts going? Or people that I'm trying to help or like find kind of what's holding them back. I like specifically ask them like, why are you hesitant in signing up? Or like, why? I just ask very direct, tough questions, because I think people appreciate, like, then they know what I'm asking. Because how many of you on here have had, like, even at work or wherever, someone's asked a question and you've answered it like completely different. And then they're like, well, that's not what I wanted to know. And you're like, well, that's what I thought you wanted. Like, that's what I thought. And so if you just ask tough and direct questions, and right, like I don't pop in the inbox of like a new mom and be like, so why aren't you working out yet? You had your baby 6 weeks ago. Why aren't you working out? Like, I'm not going to do that, but I'm going to, ask like, okay, so you said you don't have time. Like, walk me through what your daily routine looks like. And then sometimes you'll find that they're like, well, I come home and I kind of sit on my phone for an hour and then I watch some Netflix and then I do this, or I come home and I spend hours out like doing work stuff. And I'm like, so we need to work on work boundaries, but, and then stand for what you believe in. I think this is so important to be an agent of change. These are all kind of tips on how to be an agent of change, but stand for what you believe in. Even this weekend, because my family was all together for holidays, right? Like, different beliefs come up and things that we believe are right, wrong, and different, whatever. But if you want to see change in your life, in your family's life, in your community's life, you have to stand for what you think is right and what you believe in. And so don't let people don't let negativity change that. I think too, like how easy it would be, like Victoria's videos, I can see someone somewhere being like, man, you're putting chemicals and you're an awful human being and blah, 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 blah. You're ruining the earth. But she knows what it's for and she believes in what she's doing. And so she's not going to let that get to her. Yeah. Do we get annoyed and do we question our life? And are we like, maybe I should delete it? Don't do it. Just stand strong and use it as a teaching moment. But those are some ways to do being an agent of change in your community, in your places of work, because I'm sure all of us have room for improvement in our places of work, all of that kind of stuff. So, and I just want you to think like, what can you do to make a difference? I think so often with the coaching side of it, we get caught up in getting challengers, getting coaches, making money, going on the trips, earning the prizes, that we forget about like the entire reason why each of you guys signed up was to make a difference in someone's life. And even if you do that for one human being, 5 human beings, 10, 20, 80, 3 million, you're going to make a difference, and that is going to matter for a long time. And so what do you want that difference to be? Right? Right now, my big thing is like, I want women to understand their full potential. Like, I want people to understand how powerful they are, that life does not have to be like you hate your job, you hate your life, you hate everything, you want to, you don't want to show up to work. Like, so what can you do to make a difference? Could it be, I'm going to go through like some social media stuff we can do, because I think right now in our world, that's the easiest way to make a difference, but it can also be in your community too. And we forget that this is a people business. We forget, like, we think of just social media, but when you're out making a difference too in your community, people see what you're doing. And I honestly think the workouts, the eating healthy, all that kind of helps us do make a difference. And so I guess what I'm getting at is like, then people are like wondering how you do it, right? Like, how do you work, all these hours and you still find time to volunteer, or you do all this and you still go and watch your niece for one night a week to give your sister a break. I don't know. I'm just thinking of different things, but just think of something that you can do in your community to make a difference. Because honestly, if you're someone who's struggling with where you're at in life right now, I think a big thing you can do is do something for other people, and that helps a lot. Okay. And then utilizing social media to do so. So how do we utilize social media to be an agent of change? And my first bullet point, I think is the most important one, is set time limits and boundaries. I think that so many people get burnt out on social media or feel anxious about social media because they don't have clear boundaries of when they should be on social media, when they shouldn't be on social media, when are good times, when are bad times. I feel like I have been on social media or on my phone like the least amount as ever in my life. And maybe you could say that that's something, maybe that's making it a little more difficult for me to hit Success Club or whatever, but it has made my life easier, like with my family. And so you have to realize like, okay, I can be on my phone during these times. I can be on my phone when we're watching Netflix or football. But the second we go into the bedroom and get ready for bed, like then it's off and I'm not on it. Or, maybe your job, you're like, oh, I'm waiting for, I don't know, a truck to fill up so I can do a reel or I can do this, right? Or, like me, like I cannot post on social media. Like I avoid social media all day long at school, because then I get like sucked in and I want to be on my phone, which I shouldn't be, because I should be teaching. And so like create time limits and boundaries. It'll make you feel less stressed about social. Another easy way to be an agent of change on social is to share quotes and people who inspire you. This super easy way, because you are creating none of the content. You are literally just sharing other things. And I can't tell you how many times I've looked on other people's stories and seen a quote from someone else or a story from someone else, and it's motivated me a lot, or it's really spoke to me. So just because you see a quote you really love and you simply click that quick airplane share thing, you're inspiring people. Okay. Other ways to do so is give free advice, tips, tricks. I saw this cool, I follow a local realtor. She's in Huron, but she makes these cool little graphics of like each month what you should do to clean your house, right? And she's a realtor, so she deals with houses, but it could be meals, it could be meal plans, it could be checklists for different, I don't know, self-care. It could be really anything you want it to be, but just give free advice and things for people to utilize. Okay. The next thing is don't just scroll, engage, right? Comment on posts, reply to stories, engage with the people on social media because it builds real connections. And I think that's what we can get really pulled down in social media when it's like we're just watching what everyone's doing. Whereas if we're inserting ourselves and like kind of taking control of it, and we're using it to do kind of like what the next bullet point is, right? Connect with the people you love or people who are like you, then it becomes a really fun thing. Okay. And then, oh, I need to change that. That should say unfollow. Don't follow people who make you feel negative or down. Unfollow anyone who makes you feel negative or down. This goes for people if you're comparing yourself to someone, even if they're on this team, unfollow them. Anything that makes you second guess who you are as a person, unfollow it. Right. There can be good things like that test our beliefs and like make us question our beliefs and stuff like that. That's okay. But I'm talking about like every time you see their post, you're like, oh, this girl, or like, you know, so and so, like, oh, I just don't even want to see it. Right. Then don't see it. Unfollow them. And then my last one is share your true life. Social media is something that is really hard. I feel like too many people want to maintain this perfect image on social media, but people are really sick of that. Like people are really sick of just seeing like these perfectly edited photos and like these happy little captions about how nothing bad ever happens in your life. And I'm not saying you have to air out your laundry or like tell people all your struggles, but like the posts I get the most engagement on, and I personally think have the most impact on other people, are the ones that I am like, oh my gosh, like this is kind of showing a little piece of me, like this is showing a little skin here, and I don't know if I really want to post it. Okay. So just share your true life, show people what's going on. I show people my shit show all the time and my hot mess express because people want to know that you're a real human being too. And they can relate to you too when you do that. Okay. So I kind of wanted to end with this. You are unique and you are rare. So stop trying to be like everyone else and just put yourself out there. I think, especially when we're coaches, we like see what Victoria's doing and we're like, oh, we have to do it that way. Or we see McKinsey and it's like, we got to do it that way. I have to do this free group like they do, or this coach sneak peek. Or if you follow a bunch of Beachbody coaches on Instagram, you should unfollow them, because I feel like I look at them and I'm like, well, they're doing a flash sale. Maybe I should do a sale, or they're doing this on their team. I should do that on my team. Or like, you know, oh my gosh, they're having their best month ever. And I'm here struggling. Like I didn't hit Success Club for the first time in 17 months. And I was like, so what's wrong with me? But I realized I just hit myself with that. Like I am not everyone else. So I need to stop trying to be like anyone else and just be myself, and eventually my people will come. So that's kind of, I wanted to end with that because everyone on this team is so different and has such a different aspect of life. And it's just really cool because we can come together for this common goal of being agents of change in our families, in our communities, in our states, all of that, because it has to start with someone. So before questions, I was going to do a few announcements. I saw that the bike sale is extended, but what I find interesting, I'm not quite sure how this works. It says something about this is Beachbody's new pricing on it. So I don't think they're going to ever take away the $300. Like I think it's always going to be $300 off through Beachbody, was my understanding of it. And then Body like premiered, and then there's new ones this week. But a lot of the Body workouts are now only like in the afternoons. Not quite sure why, but it looks like they're kind of starting at like 1 p.m. And then I was going to look, challenge packs are now they're called the Total Solution packs. And those are $20 off this month as well. So those are still, if you get like just like the package that's not like, I'm trying to think, like $645, right, has the accessories, so it's usually $20 more. Like your basic Beachbody on demand is $140 this month. Let's Get Up and those kinds of ones would be $140 as well. But so those are good deals too to talk about. And so Any questions? I wanted to keep it short tonight because we're all like dying from the time change. I know I am. I could go to bed. I am going to bed right after this. Anything? Okay. I guess my last my last announcement is that we're starting. I don't know what I did with it. We're starting the book club finally for what is it called? What is it called? Get out of your head? No.
Get over your damn self.
Thank you. Get over your damn self. I'm like, I can't think of the name. Get over your damn self. So we're starting the book study for that tomorrow. We're just going to do like chapter 1 and meet and stuff like that. So if you want to do that, you can get a book and get it sent to you because it's bi-weekly. So it's not like you're going to be far behind us by any means. And we're going to tomorrow night set like how much do we want to read between meeting and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be a fun one. To be determined, but let me know if you want in because we have a group message for that. So yeah, I hope you all stay warm, adjusting from it's so beautiful this weekend to now it's going to get cold and be winter and I'm not ready for it. So if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off and let us all get some sleep so we can adjust to this time change. So good night.